The Eagles are officially back in the building as everyone returned to hear from Jalen Hurts for the first time since getting the bag. Hear what he had to say and why was Nick Sirianni drifting off during the presser. And the trade finally happened, sending Aaron Rodgers to the New York Jets, but Pro Football Network's Tony Pauline thinks it could impact the Eagles' draft. Only 2 days away, and this draft expert seems to think the Birds might favor Jahmyr Gibbs over Bijan Robinson. But first, let's run it. Hey guys, for those of you that don't know, I'm Josh Davis and I cover the Birds, so make sure to like, subscribe, and turn the notifications on so you're caught up to date on all the latest Eagles news. So voluntary offseason workouts began yesterday and the boys are back, or most of them anyway. They got together for some big reps, lifting some serious weight, but that wasn't the biggest pull in the building, as Jalen Hurts spoke to the media for the first time since signing his NFL's richest contract, but he made sure to put everyone's minds at ease about whether or not the massive deal would change him.
Nothing changed but the weather, baby. Let's go. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Owner Jeffrey Lurie kicked off the presser saying this is a special time for the Eagles organization and it's remarkable that somebody can combine the talent that Jalen has, the personal qualities, and the ability at such a young age to be a culture setter. Later, Hurts echoed the sentiment after being asked about why he didn't want a fully guaranteed contract, saying it takes a village and the Birds have something unique building here in Philly.
And really thankful for this opportunity, not only to lead this team, but to lead this city. And Philadelphia is a very special place and a place that I want to be for a very long time. Money is nice, championships are better.
Exactly 3 years ago, the Eagles took Jalen in the second round, and he hasn't changed one bit.
Eagles fans, man, it's Jalen Hurts here. I'm so excited to be an Eagle. Put my hat on, ready to get with the guys. Ready to be in Philadelphia, ready to go to work.
He's doing the same thing now as he said the work never stops, the grind never stops. There is no point where I will have arrived. This is not an arrival point. This is just a stop in the journey. This is just a point in the journey, and the journey continues. And for us and what we want to accomplish as a team, we just want to continue to grow. As individuals on the team, we want to continue to grow so we are strong together when we fly together. Hurts made sure to let everyone know his desire and passion still burns, which even got the attention of the NFL's Twitter account saying, "The fire has been lit." Not that anyone was, but don't sleep on this team. Unless you're Nick Sirianni, that is, as the Eagles coach appeared to be drifting off during the presser according to a picture taken by Jeff McClain. But let's cut him some slack. This is draft season after all. Who knows how much film he's watched and sleepless nights he's had over the last couple months preparing for Thursday night. And it sounds like one of the players keeping him up lately is Ohio State receiver Jaxson Smith-Njigba, as the Eagles are apparently making a late push to draft him, as Pro Football Network's Tony Pauline said, "I heard two interesting nuggets about Smith-Njigba this weekend. First, the Philadelphia Eagles are making a late push on the wideout and doing a lot of work on him in recent days. Second, Smith-Njigba is definitely part of the conversation for the Jets at 13 if the offensive tackles are off the board. I was told outright that the Jets are absolutely considering Smith-Njigba with that pick. Both bits of news surprised me, yet I was able to confirm each of them." However, that seems to have drastically changed after the official news came yesterday from Adam Schefter that Aaron Rodgers would be traded to the New York Jets. And while all New York Jets fans were going,
"Oh my God, okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?"
Stay calm!
there was some other news more pertaining to Eagles fans after Tony Pauline tweeted, "A number of people tell me the move from 15 to 13 for Green Bay is the hopes it will be easier to secure Jaxson Smith-Njigba." So looking at this news of Green Bay being interested in him kind of gets me excited. I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't really much in favor of Njigba in the first place, and I think this is more so how he's sending out rumors or feelers to better position himself in case he wants to trade back. I think Njigba is definitely a good receiver, and it's not like he'd be bad in this offense, but I think the value isn't high enough for me to consider him for Philly. Could the Birds trade back from 10 with either the Packers or the Jets? I know, this is the part where you ask me, what about Bijan? I'm just trying to think of all possible scenarios and knowing that Howie is always 3 steps ahead, so with it sounding like the Jets and Packers are interested in Njigba, perhaps you trade back? But if you did, how much would you ask for in terms of the draft picks? One thing we do know is that the Eagles are in love with Georgia edge rusher Nolan Smith. According to NBC's Peter King, he spoke with a GM who's always accurate with his assessments and said he knows the Eagles love Smith. Yet this other revelation King shared yesterday didn't make a whole lot of sense, saying the Eagles may prefer Alabama running back Jahmyr Gibbs over Bijan Robinson. With Gibbs' 195 touches in his 1 year at Alabama, he averaged 6.1 yards per rush and 10.1 yards per catch, and never fumbling. As good as Robinson was as a collegian, Gibbs has a few teams in this draft that liked him over Robinson for the NFL.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
Now, King didn't come right out and say which teams liked Gibbs over Bijan, but I think that's more smoke and mirrors than anything else. While I do think Gibbs will have a productive career, I just can't see someone legitimately wanting Gibbs over Bijan, and NFL Network's James Palmer seems to have the same line of thought as he tweeted, "I'll just say this, a couple NFC teams I talked to this weekend do not want the Eagles to draft running back Bijan Robinson. The thought of that offense with his addition is scary in their eyes." Now that seems a lot more believable to me, but this is the time where rumors and teams are trying desperately to get other teams to bite. One of those potential smokescreens is the Atlanta Falcons. As Monday Morning Quarterback's Albert Breer says, Robinson's name has come up pretty consistently in connection to the Falcons, and it makes some sense in how Arthur Smith built an imposing, dominant offense in Tennessee around a bell cow back, which allowed him to manage the quarterback spot a little differently. Breer also said there's a couple other names like Christian Gonzalez, Tyree Wilson, and Lucas Van Ness circulating in Atlanta, but Bijan has become the latest buzz. I know you can't rule out anything at this point, but it seems like Atlanta could use some other pieces. I mean, especially they already have running back Tyler Algier, who ran for over 1,000 yards on 210 carries and 4 total touchdowns last season. This seems like a ploy perhaps to get the Eagles or another team interested in a trade to potentially come up and take Robinson. But anyway, let's move on to some certainties. The Birds made a couple roster moves ahead of the draft as they signed tight end Tyree Jaxson to an exclusive rights tender. Jaxson played in 9 games as a rookie in 2021, where he caught 3 passes for 22 yards and a touchdown. But he didn't manage to get any action in last season, though, or record any stats, so this is probably more of a reserve move. And the Eagles also released safety Marquise Blair. Blair was a second-round pick by the Seahawks in 2019 and had signed on in a reserve capacity with Philly, but will now be released. Although there have been a couple signings at safety, it does make you wonder, might Howie draft a safety in the coming days? Big thanks to you guys as we eclipsed over 3,000 subscribers on the channel. I'm blown away, very appreciative, but I'm going to be doing a special giveaway as a thank you, so tune into the live show on draft night with me and Thomas Mott. So many questions, not long before we have our answers. This has been the Philly Special.